Hello and welcome to Mabinda TV. This is home of compassionate conservatism, where we advocate for a fine balance, a sweet spot between individual creative genius excellence as afforded by capitalism and society excellence as afforded by equality of opportunity. So in essence, we are calling for capitalism with a human face, that is capitalism with a human face. So now this is Mabinda TV, and in Africa perspectives, I'm asking, why does Africa have semi-average leaders? That is, why does Africa have semi-average leaders? Why do the leaders in Africa not deliver on their core mandate? And I think we elect the worst. That is what Professor Pierre Lumumba, prominent Pan-Africanist, says. And I think when we are electing the Cato Deep Chairman, we elect the best. When we are electing the school committee, the school building committee, we elect the best. When we are electing the wedding committee chairperson, we elect the best. But I think why is it that when it comes to national leadership, then we elect the worst? We elect the people that the people that go on and finish us, steal resources from us, people that are tribalist to the core, people that cause civil war, people that are indebted to the West. And I think maybe the colonialists were not frank in giving us independence. Yes, they gave us independence, but they never really went away. So now you have these semi-average leaders. And I think you have these semi-average leaders so that you have who ensure they develop Africa just enough so that resources will freely flow to the West. And I think now we have two enemies. We have the Western colonizers who want our resources, and then we have leaders that look like us, leaders that talk like us, leaders that have the same name as ours, who have been indebted to the global operation systems where Africa sits at the tail end. So we have these leaders that are bought onto this oppressive system being our leaders. And I don't, these days, I don't even celebrate when a new leader is elected in Africa, be it opposition or the ruling party, because I know it is the same old policies. I know it is the same old kind of leadership that is going to prevail. That is, they will endanger their people, they will oppress their people, and there will be no development. Every now, why is it there a spirit that goes on during the times of elections, when you find people are on hysteria, but then immediately that person is elected, things go back to how they were. Look at the Kenyan situation, where the Kenyan president was elected by the people. The Kenyan president, William Ruto, was elected by the people, but and now the same people that elected him are complaining of increased prices of goods and services, where they want to raise more taxation. So you can imagine these semi-average leaders in Africa. This is a colonial layer. These are not the leaders to deliver us, and I think we need a new revolution, be it maybe even spiritual, so that we can get rid of this layer. We can get rid of this leader so that we can put leaders that are for Africa. And I think when we do this, then Africa will be in a good state to develop. Look at the countries in Africa. We were supposed to develop before Asia, but that did not happen. It is the Asian countries that developed first because they had focused leaders. They had focused leaders. They had leaders that were willing to put their people first. Look at a leader like Singapore's Lee Kuan Yew. He was able to develop Singapore from a third world country to a first world country in a record 25 years, within a generation. And of course, he was an authoritarian, yes, but then he gave his people economic freedom. He emphasized education, and of course, then Singapore became a financial center of the world. Singapore became one of the leading global cities of the world. Of course, some say maybe he was too strict, and maybe that is Singapore lost a part of its culture, but that's a discussion for another day. But I think in terms of pure development metrics, Lee Kuan Yew is the textbook of this. Of course, then you have leaders in South Korea, you have leaders in Taiwan, you have leaders in South Korea, you have leaders in Malaysia, in Thailand. They develop their countries. to first world countries. Of course, whether their culture changes is a story for another day, but I think they did have the development metrics. They eliminated poverty in a generation, and I think maybe Africa has to learn for this. We need maybe even benevolent dictators who will do away with democracy, because I think, frankly, I don't think democracy is working for Africa. It is stalling so many things, and I think, yes, these political freedoms, I think we have not evolved to have a two-party system, or maybe be a place of ideology where the better ideas. Which African leader gets elected on the basis of a jobs plan? Which African leader gets elected on the basis of an infrastructure plan? Which African leader gets elected on the basis of a healthcare plan? None whatsoever. So this is why I think we need leaders, we need maybe benevolent dictators, leaders that are going to say, yes, do this. For instance, why wouldn't African leaders employ 1 million civil servants? Why does it take that? Why don't they have village centers? I think if they employed, for instance, 1 million civil servants, money will circulate around Africa. There will be money, because I can't tell you, the rich in Africa don't help Africa at all. The rich in Africa don't help Africa at all. The rich in Africa, really, they buy their sofa sets from countries abroad. They go to shop in Dubai when they could have gone to holiday in Namibia with the same desert experience, or maybe Chalpi Desert in Kenya with the same desert experience as Dubai. But they choose to go to Dubai. They send their kids to Western schools or Asian schools these days. Lately, they go to hospital abroad, and so they are not able to contribute. So I would say, if African leaders took this step and employed 1 million people, then we would have 1 million civil servants, and that would help the Kenyan economy. That would improve the African economy, and Africa will be on good state. So that's how to develop Africa. I think if Africa developed in that way, then Africa would really be in a good state. And I think these leaders, the voters, when they're going to the polling booths, they don't consider their fate. Why do we elect the worst leaders? They don't consider that these people are our enemies. And I think maybe we don't even politics. Maybe we can't even elect business leaders to be the ones who are conducting the affairs of Africa, because our leaders are failures. They kick the can down the road. I don't think there is any African leader. Even the likes of Julius Malema, they have bought, you can't be sure, secretly, they have bought onto the global operation system, where they are going to be the leaders that are going to lead Africa to go to lead Africa to peril. And I think as its leaders, I think I posit that if you are an African leader, that I think they sacrificed about 200 and 250,000 people. So I tend to think these leaders are just bought. They have bought into evil system. They will never deliver their children to prosperity. So I would tend to think that we have semi-average leaders. We are still in colonial chains. We are still in chains. So this is something that I think we need to work on. We need to work on our democracy. I think Africa, look at a country such as DR Congo. The mineral potential of DR Congo is worth about $30 trillion. That makes it potentially the richest country in the world. But why doesn't it become the richest country in the world? Because the leaders have bought. They sell minerals at a song, at next to nothing. DR Congo, look at copper, look at coltan, the minerals used to make the information revolution. Look at AI, artificial intelligence. These minerals are being, these batteries are being mined from DR Congo, but DR Congo does not have a single mobile phone company, does not have a single research on artificial intelligence, and so you can be sure that it is all oppression. And I think that is why Africa, if DR Congo is worth $30 trillion, then I think Africa is worth about $200 trillion. But how can that growth be achieved? How can that development be achieved? And I think going forward, I think maybe politics is not doing as any good, and maybe we should maybe think of business leaders, leaders such as maybe Steve Masia of Zimbabwe, maybe Dr. James Mwangi of Kenya, maybe Dr. Tony Lumelu of Nigeria. We need such leaders so that they can help our people grow to levels never seen before, so that our leaders can indeed be there. Our leaders can indeed be the shining star, can bring the best out of Africa. So let me know on why you think Africa has semi-average leaders. So now this has been Mabinda TV. This is home of compassionate conservatism, where I advocate for a fine balance, a sweet spot between a fine balance between individual creative genius excellence as afforded by capitalism and society excellence as afforded by equality of opportunity. So in essence, we are calling for capitalism with a human first, that is capitalism with a human first.